Today we found a lost King Charles Spaniel, whose collar said donkey, and he's currently at my house until we find his owner. We found out after the first couple of hours that he doesn't respond to his name unless you say it like Shrek, so I don't know what kind of human he belongs to. If you ever meet someone who calls Gatorade flavors the actual name of the flavor instead of just the color, they are 100% a cop. Yep, but you gotta specify Frost Glacier Freeze or Cool Blue. You can't just say blue because there's more than one blue. Blue and light blue. Nice try, officer. Why is this a screenshot of Tumblr and Twitter at the same time and also at an angle? Humans are innately attracted to glowing orbs and portals, and that's very on brand for us. It's lucky we evolved out of the ocean, because anglerfish would have decimated our population. Practice social distancing by going to one of those vampire castles where the vampire will encourage you to stay for dinner, but you have to sit at opposite ends of an extremely long table. In Joker, Arthur suffers from a condition that causes him to laugh loudly and uncontrollably, even when things are not funny. When he tries to do stand-up, he has difficulty finishing a joke due to laughing too hard. This is a reference to Jimmy Fallon, who the character is based on. Quarantine feels kinda like that area between Christmas and New Year's, where I have no idea what day of the week it is, or if I'm supposed to be going to work. AM and PM blend together. I've taken 4 naps in 10 hours. Leftovers are my primary food source. Got that weird Sunday anxiety, except it's every day for the next 2 weeks. The first time I saw a California king-sized bed, I was like, that's absurd. Who needs a bed that big? But now I understand. I get it. It's designed specifically for me, my wife, and every single one of our dogs send post. You can fit so many dogs on here. So many. And maybe even a wife. Polyamory is cancelled. I just want dogs. This one time, I was working in a factory that also offered cheap and shitty apartments for the workers for rent. One of my co-workers was also a classmate from middle school, who now also became my next door neighbor. We bonded over both being fairly smart, with nothing to show for it. He had quit school at 16, and I had studied an useless art degree, and there we were on the same factory floor. At one point, I started complaining about how I was bored, and my life was going nowhere, and stated musing that I might get a violin, not take lessons or anything, but figure it out on my own. I might be too stupid for school, but it would be something to be completely self-taught in a challenging instrument. And he was like, dude, no, you know what you could do? You're going to start those hormone treatments soon, right? This is a good moment to start working out. Kettlebells are good. And he personally took me to get one, showed me how to pick the one that was the exact right size, and showed me a couple of moves that he does too. And for months I was so satisfied with this purchase that I didn't realize that he did all of that because he didn't want to listen to me play the violin. Listen, as a kid who grew up on dystopian film and novels, just being alive in this very year of 2020 feels extremely unsettling. I was literally only saying to a customer a couple of days ago that I had been required to read a bunch of books featuring dystopias as a kid, and I never, for 1 second, imagined then that I would wind up living in one as an adult. Due to the coronavirus outbreak in Italy and the consequent lockdown, the sharp reduction in pollution has made water so crystal clear that the plesiosaurs have finally come back to the canals of Venice. My PP is 1 atom wide, but an unknowable amount of light years long. Monofilament PP gang. I roll over in bed and slice the Milky Way in half. How do you guys come up with this stuff? Bandersnatch sounds like British slang for PP. And yet family-friendly Disney still hired him to play Doctor Strange. What a disgrace. This post is like getting smacked in the face twice. Some clumps of weeds. Sure. How about if I offer you 420 bells? I collected exactly 42 clumps of weeds to make this joke. Marvel Studios. And then, Chris Evans improvised the line, "I'm Steve Rogers." He talked to Groot. Haha, pretty wild and silly. Huh. Venom production team. Yeah, Tom Hardy just fking climbed in the tank and ate a live lobster. Do we look like we know how to manage him? This has that same energy about that one post about cat owners versus dog owners. Marvel Studios. This is Chris Evans. He's a award-winning talented actor. He's so talented and has been in all these movies. He's half dentist. Venom production team. This is Tom Hardy and he's a bastard. To be fair, Chris Evans added it to be funny. Tom Hardy did it because he knows how to radiate bisexual disaster energy. This tells a story, a deeply profound story. She melted. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Confucius. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Aristotle. Work while you work, play while you play. Theodore Adorno. You want a hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work B. Britney Spears. Britney Spears truly is the greatest philosopher of our time. Oh my god. We forgot the Amish. Has anybody told the Amish what's going on? Has anyone checked on the Amish? Someone told the Amish. Do y'all wanna see a commission my cousin had me draw? I got paid to draw this. Experts strongly suggest starting your day as you normally would by putting on outside clothes to trick your brain into thinking that you're a functional member of society. That's malarkey. Literally do not even think about getting dressed until about 2 p.m. and then put on your prom outfit. Walk around your house in it like Miss Havisham. Stand by the window ominously so your neighbors think your place is haunted. Really lean into it. The Vatican cancelled Easter. You know how much stuff has to suck for the Pope to be like, you know what, this year Jesus stays dead. Jesus saw his shadow. 6 more weeks of Lent. I thought I was looking at some surreal art for a second there. Are you saying it isn't? Just engaged in an extremely petty silent war. Throughout the church service I was playing organ for, which is arguably very much not in the Christian spirit, but it was very fun. I say silent war, it was a pianist versus organist war, which is probably the least silent a war could be. But at no point was war explicitly verbally declared. What happened was the pianist playing some of the hymns, and mid-service music came up to me as I was practicing beforehand and said to me in a very patronizing, "I'm a middle-aged man and you are but a young woman, so I know more than you weigh. That Gloria is very difficult, isn't it?" So I was like, not really. And he decided to grill me on my whole musical past and tell me how he was incorporating Beethoven's Ninth into his pre-service improv and other such pretentious things. So naturally, being a competitive and petty person, I decided I would absolutely have to outdo him, which was not easy, considering he was playing a decent keyboard and I was playing a tiny pipe organ that often performs as if someone just kicked it down several flights of stairs. And thus throughout the service we escalated in playing ridiculously flourishy accompaniments. A battle which culminated in him physically dancing down the aisles during my last hymn, shaking America with total haphazard glee, which I countered by becoming maybe the first person to force several jazzy glissandi into an 11:30 a.m. pipe organ rendition of Sing Hosanna. I enjoyed every second. Till a philosophy riddle from 1688 was recently solved. If a man born blind can feel the differences between shapes, such as spheres and cubes, could he, if given the ability, distinguish those objects by sight alone? In 2003, 5 people had their sight restored through surgery, and, no, they could not. I love when apparently deep questions turn out to have clear empirical answers. I think of my paycheck like mana in a video game. Once you run out, you gotta chill for a bit to give it time to recharge. Paycheck. Oh sorry, I live in Canada, where we spell things correctly. I understand the confusion, though. What a polite way to say F you. Yesterday, I went to dinner to catch up with my buddy from the math department, and he told me this story about how he ran the city marathon in 2 hours 59 minutes. That's an amazing time. He was 19th out of thousands. He was doing pretty well for the first half, but then his ankle started to hurt. He slowed down for a bit, but then this girl he passed before passed him, and he started overthinking whether or not it was awkward to pass the same person multiple times, and, like, what if they small talked about it? He decided it was better to pass her and stay ahead, so he picked up the pace. A few miles later, he fell in with two dude brothers who started talking to him. Not pleased to find himself in the company of dude brothers, he pulled ahead once again. This continued for a while. Every time he got close to a group of other marathoners, his social anxiety kicked in, and he ran faster because he felt nervous being near people. TLDR, a mathematician ran a record marathon to avoid making small talk with randos. He introverted his way into qualifying for the Boston Marathon. When I was in 8th grade, this guy in my last class of the day leaned over to me and said, "Everyone thinks I'm wearing plaid shorts, but they're really just boxers." And sure enough, upon closer inspection, they were indeed just boxers. This kid just up and didn't wear pants to school, and no one noticed. I think about it a lot. You met a god of yore. He lived many people's nightmares, like it's nothing. This Justin. Due to panic buying, Walmart has decided to open up a second register. Dire times indeed. Cat. Hey, you gonna read that? Human. That's a rat. They've been showing up ever since we started harvesting grain. We don't eat them, they eat our food. Cat. Free game then. Cool. Human. Be my guest. Cat. Hey, is this spot free? It looks warm, and I need a place to have my litter. Humans. This is my house. Feel free, I guess. Just don't get stepped on. Cat. Hey, can you watch my kittens for me? I need to hunt, and I don't want predators finding them. Human. Holy these buggers are cute. Nothing will happen to them. Cat. I'm going to climb on your lap now, and you are going to love me. Human. I'm okay with this. These 2 weeks of no school are like that time you reach during the summer when you never shower, never get dressed, and wake up at noon. Clicking the A in the Mario Paint title screen logo while Mario is walking under it will cause it to take Mario off the screen as it falls. Footage recorded by me in a SNES emulator. You've been hit by. You've been struck by. A. Minecraft music has a sadness to it. This cannot be denied. Minecraft music feels like knowing you can't go home because it's not there anymore. My friend is studying for the meet and was just trying to explain to me about heat transfer, and she said, you know, like, the reason you get cold when you go outside on a freezing day is that your tiny human body is trying to warm up the entire universe, and I think that's the best thing I have ever heard. I kind of needed this today. Thank you. Said to I am a fish. KYS. I'm sorry, but I don't do commissions. You're just gonna have to kill me yourself.